But let's continue with our reaction from the High Court in Pretoria, which has found that Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula's urgent application to essentially evade her arrest has been dismissed. In fact, the court has also ordered her to pay costs. Just last week, the Speaker filed an application seeking to halt her arrest in the midst of corruption allegations that date back to her tenure as Defence Minister. Our political reporter, Samkele Maseko, is at an ANC event in Soweto, and it's an opportunity, Samkele, as you join us now live, to get reaction finally from the governing party.
Indeed, and the ANC Women's League, led by its President and Secretary General, accompanied by the ANC's officials in the form of the Deputy Secretary General Nomvula Mokonyane, NEC members of the African National Congress, are on the ground in Soweto commemorating the life and times of Mama Winnie Mandela, doing door-to-door. They started this morning at the cemetery, but obviously we'll also ask her about the Speaker of Parliament, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, just to get the issues of the stalwart Mama Winnie Mandela out of the way. DSG, just the essence of your campaign. You've started at the memorial site and the grave site of Mama Winnie Mandela. Just the essence of her memory.
The essence of Mama's memory is that in all its trials and tribulations, the ANC, you never walk away. You never turn your back against the ANC. And it is only when there is a dire need for all of us to put on our boats. You would always see Mama. Even in her last days, she walked side by side with President Cyril Ramaphosa here in Soweto, mobilizing people to vote for the African National Congress. That is all that we have to celebrate Mama through, and ensure that we make sure that people of Soweto come out in their numbers to vote for the ANC.
When you look at your campaign, it's now been shrouded by some leaders facing corruption allegations. Just this morning, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula facing corruption allegations and being investigated by the NPA, failed to interdict her arrest. Just the essence from the ANC standpoint of view, with her now failing to prevent this particular arrest, what then unfolds, what then happens?
I think, we woke up throughout the morning, we were busy with the event of commemorating Mama, but it is within her own right to use any avenue, but also subject herself to the organizational and legal processes. And for now, we do believe that she has never vowed to defy the ANC, and we believe that she will remain that loyal and disciplined member of the ANC and act in line with the accordance of the ANC.
So in essence, what's in accordance with the ANC now, because she's not yet arrested? There is no formal charge against her name. What then happens to her standing in the organization? Does she voluntarily step aside, as she has voluntarily already done so, or does the step aside resolution effectively kick in?
No, Samkelo, I think those are issues that are not in the space. I think we should allow the organizational processes to be the ones that must be respected, including her commitment to cooperate with the ANC. We know that it is only the ANC that has committed itself to organizational renewal, and members of the ANC are subjected to that. We are here again to reconnect and continue to be in the ward of Umama, in the ward of Ubabu Sisulu, in the community of Orlando, to once more say, you don't walk away, you don't turn your back, you come out, especially when there is a dire need. You step in like Nomzamo did.
You are part of a team that is continuously going to a province where you are on the back foot, in KwaZulu-Natal, working with the likes of the former provincial secretary, the first provincial secretary of the province, Sipho Qabash, the likes of Dr. Zwelini Mkhize, Michael Mabuya Khulu. I'm told you are also going there in the next week or so to spend about 10 or 15 days or so in that province. Just enlighten us. What is your strategy to try and regain power in that province?
Nothing beats our connection with the people, sectoral engagement, and most importantly, being responsive to issues that affect our communities. And lastly, having the machinery on the ground. every volunteer of the ANC having a target of the number of voters he or she must reach out, making sure that our election machinery is located mostly in the voting district, interacting with the traditional leaders, interacting with faith-based organizations, and most importantly, broadening the capacity of the African National Congress beyond those that are elected, but led by them, working together with everyone who understands the base of KwaZulu-Natal.
When you look at KwaZulu-Natal, for instance, you've lost a number of wards in the Musa Kubeka region, Newcastle, to the IFP. You're also facing an onslaught from the MK party in eThekwini and the northern parts of the province. What are your immediate mechanisms to make sure that you try and block that bleeding that is there?
It is about going down, working on the ground, creating elections machinery. Nothing beats being there on the ground, ensuring that we do not actually come in when there is an event, but being rooted there, having volunteers for every voting district, having permanent volunteers who will be permanently working in that space. The loss to the IFP is one of the things that we are seriously reflecting on. We have also been informed about what has happened, and I think the ANC post these elections will also reflect on that some of the generosity we have made as the ANC of going to community comes back to haunt us, when in actual fact those that come through community processes are not necessarily loyalists of the movement.
The DA says you are a better coalition partner other than the Red Party, the Economic Freedom Fighters. What's your view as the ANC of John Steenhuisen's comments, and where is the DA campaigning?
We're going to win these elections. Anyone who wants to work with us must come and work with us, not on the basis that we are going to lose. We have always worked with everybody in South Africa. We're the leaders of a government of national unity. We have a good party leader now in government. When there are opportunities of working, we will work as we have worked with everybody. We are part of that parliament. We have passed many pieces of laws, working together with all political parties. We don't court people when we're going to battle. We see them as our opponents and we want to defeat them.
There is a special council sitting in Ekurhuleni on Thursday to vote in the new mayor. I know you as the ANC have been discussing with the EFF to reconfigure, I wouldn't say coalition, but your voting arrangements. What are some of the proposals coming for, if you can take us into liberty of those discussions with the EFF and other smaller parties in council come the council meeting in Ekurhuleni on Thursday?
We're closely watching what is happening in Ekurhuleni, and we support what the provincial leadership and the regional leadership of Ekurhuleni are doing. Coalitions are so unreliable. And of importance, what is of importance for us is to work with anyone who's committed to ensure that the service delivery for our communities. Services that virtually collapsed in Ekurhuleni. The council sitting will happen and will be guided by those comrades who are working in Gauteng to come back and make recommendations. And the team that is at the national level will then give them a go-ahead on what is to be done.
Lastly, on the issues pertaining to the accident that took place with the former president, there's been some allegations. What is your view as the ANC of some people spewing out allegations that this may have been an attempt on the former president's life?
I don't think it is worth a response, because we must be wary of wedge drivers and let the law actually do the necessary investigations. We will never wish anybody any casualty, whether in the form of an accident. Where's his age? Never mind him being with MK. His age, it's not right. But then the law must take its course. We have nothing to do with that. We have more to do with the elections of the 29th of May and beat everybody.
What's your research saying about Gauteng?
We are winning Gauteng, way above 50.
Because of the Panyaza factor?
Because of the people of Gauteng realizing that to stay at home and not come out to vote, because that's what happened with the last local government elections. You end up with the mess, as we have seen in Tshwane, the mess in Ekurhuleni, the crisis here in Johannesburg.
The water issues, has the government briefed you on the team that has been, the task team that has been set up to resolve the water issues, particularly in metros such as Gauteng, Johannesburg as well?
We have Comrade Pakstau, who's an NEC member, coordinating the service delivery and rapid response team. We are on top of issues, and our structures and representatives have been briefed.
Thank you very much. That is Nomvula Mokonyane, the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, essentially saying they are steaming ahead with their election campaign and going to do door-to-door engaging with the people of Soweto here in this ward of Mama Winnie Mandela, just like the late stalwart Andrew Mlangeni lived amongst the people until her last breath, was with the people, faced load shedding with the people, faced water cuts with the people, faced the struggles that the people were facing day in and day out. Instead of moving out of this township, stayed with them.
Right, Samkele Maseko, thanks very much indeed for getting us that reaction. Samkele is at an ANC event there in Soweto, commemorating, of course, the life of Winnie Mandela, who, by the way, passed away on this day now 6 years ago.